What's going on, everybody? MC Andrew Love, back on your screen and your speakers one more time with another edition of Let's Chat and Jam. In this episode, I'm speaking to a sister out of St. Louis, Missouri. And let me just tell you something, folks. This lady here, she's got skills. She hit me up on my IG and my DMs. You know, the other inbox that's always closed down. Well, I went to it and I hit her up and I listened to her music. And man, was I, oh my God, I was impressed. I'm telling you something, folks, this lady here is dope. So without further ado, let me bring in Miss Kriss.
What's going on? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for stepping in and actually thank you for hitting me up, man. I'm so honored that you hit me up. Like, how, man, I feel like this job is worth it for me, and it's really working because I'm impacting so many amazing artists. And I just want people to hear you and give you the chance to shine because you are freaking dope.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm honored. Thank you for having me again, first and foremost. And I mean, I see what you're doing. So to me, it was a no-brainer. You know, I could just feel your love and respect for all genres, for all kind of music. So I was like, if anything, regardless of what came out of it, I said I would love his opinion. I often want to seek opinions of people who seem to kind of know their stuff and are very involved, even if they're not an artist themselves. So it was a no-brainer for me. And I love your energy. So I was like, well, let me see. I'm interested in seeing what he would think of the music. So that's where that went. That's why I, sent you the music. And I mean, the rest is history. I love what you're doing. So I'm just honored to be here. Thank you.
Well, thank you for tapping in. I really appreciate it. And since you're here, I might as well ask you some questions. And one of my first questions I'll ask you is about when did you know that music was that passion that you had to get involved in and you wanted to do it for a living?
Oh, Lord. I think the moment I really knew that I wanted to do it for a living was I always knew I wanted to do music and I wanted to sing since I was about 6 or 7 years old. I discovered my voice kind of at my aunt's wedding reception. So, she had gotten married. We were at the reception. Whitney Houston's Greatest Love of All comes on, and like I started belting out, and everyone around me was like, "Oh my God, this little girl is singing her butt off." So I think it was that moment where it was like, "Yeah, I like this. This is what I want to do," But in a serious sense of like really understanding and really knowing this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life was, I want to say I was coming out of junior high, and I was on the bus and everybody was asking me to sing, and I sang. And I mean, this one girl was sitting there like crying, and you see a reaction like that, even at like 13 years old, you're like, okay, if this is what this does to people, I want that. And it's not just about getting a reaction, but knowing that you're touching people in that way. At a young age, I think I discovered what music really meant to people, human beings. So music is like everything for life. So to be able to have that gift and be able to share that gift with the world and to be able to just navigate life with that inside of you is just something special. So it's like something, even if I couldn't do it professionally, it's something I know I just would enjoy no matter what.
Well, I want to say thank you for finding your gift. And thank you for following up on your passion.
Thank you to the universe, to the Most High. Absolutely.
I must say thank God for this because you were born to perform.
Man.
You were born to entertain. That's what you were created for. But it's not just entertaining. You touch people with your lyric ability. You touch people with how you deliver a vocal. And you touched me. You touched my eardrums, man. You make my eardrums a fan. You kind of remind me of a Sade type of artist, where your music is laid back. I can just chill, vibe. I can relax. I can just drink some Kool-Aid on a Sunday afternoon and listen to Miss Kriss. That's how dope you are, man. And I'm telling you something, folks. Don't take my word for it. Just because I'm speaking her up doesn't mean anything. Why don't you go tap in? Check her out on all the platforms that she can be found on. I'm talking Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Deezer, Tidal, Pandora, and my favorite place, iHeartRadio. Yes, folks, Miss Kriss can be found on all those platforms because wherever there's streaming going on, Miss Kriss is in the middle of it.
Yep.
Who are some of your greatest influences?
Some of my I think, you know what, when I get asked this question, I'm often like thinking about the phases of my life, because sometimes those influences change, of course, as you grow and you get older. So, of course, as a little girl, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston. And as I really started like discovering the lane and the genre that was most comfortable for me and that I felt the most, I think it started like with the neo soul, like Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, Jill Scott. I really took a liking and gravitated to that, really, like you said, that laid back, of course, Sade, that really sultry, laid back sound. But also, like you said, the lyrical content and being able to really be intrigued by the story in the music, because Lauryn Hill had the best storytelling on her album. So it was like, I think being a teenager listening to Lauryn Hill, it was like her storytelling. It's like you could lay there and envision every song. Every song on that album, you could envision it playing out. And that's what intrigued me about writing. It was like, I want to write music that people can listen to it and like envision themselves in the moment or envision it happening in front of them. So my influences are definitely in phases from Whitney Houston all the way to, even artists prior to Whitney, like Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, Anita Baker. I'm a big fan of hers. Just like you said, again, that slow, sultry, smooth, syrupy sound that kind of just moves you. And then as I got older, I started getting into like Layla Hathaway. Still, of course, Erykah and Jill, they remain, but like Guapale, that smooth sound, it just gets me. I love music that you can sit back to and just think and dream and like literally it carries you. So that's really what I try to deliver with my music. Something that'll carry you into a whole nother space.
Yeah, I love the music that I can listen to and actually put myself in that space.
Yes.
See, the music that I hear on the radio today, I just can't do that shit to. I really can't. And the reason why I can't, maybe it's because I'm 45 and I just don't comprehend what these young people are thinking. But stop dumbing me down, man. Give me some music that I have to think about.
Right.
You know, like hip hop back in the day used to have stories behind it telling me what was happening in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because the news wasn't telling me.
Yeah.
So hip hop was bringing me the neighborhood news.
Yep.
And R&B, on the other hand, was giving me what not to do in a relationship.
Yes.
Or what to do in a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it's not telling me that now. Now R&B today is telling me what this girl's looking like on that stripper pole.
Yep.
That's not R&B.
Yep.
They ain't even hip hop. I don't even know what the hell that is.
The music of the 90s for me was the most pivotal era. And again, the 60s and 70s, they led the way. They brought us into that, that soul era really is where it began, of course, with blues and then your hardcore raw soul. But the 90s kind of set that tone. To me, I always say rhythm and blues, R&B tells you the issue. Soul gives you the solution. So that's what intrigued me about soul music is it spawns from R&B, but it gives you like the resolve for whatever the issue is. And I think our 90s R&B, like you just said, it's just one of those eras that is just untapped. It's unmatched. Like you just can't mess with it. And I think anyone that can tap into that, of course, making it their own, but tap back into that feeling that you got in the 90s. That's what I think I was trying to do with Black Buttafly was tap into that good feeling that music would give you in the 90s. Like the song Love and Devotion. I really was trying to tap into that nostalgia. Of course, with Caramel Coated, give you that, when I first heard that beat, I was like, it took me right to groove theory, that groove theory feeling. So it just made me want to just think about how music made me feel when I was a teenager. So that you can't match. The 90s R&B is unmatched. So that's really what I want. That's really what I want my music to be about. That something that takes you back to when you felt the best about music.
Damn Skippy.
Yes, yes.
And I'm thankful for your vision, and I am a fan of the vision that you have. But you know, you're one of the many that I've met since I've been on this journey of podcasting that want to bring back that music that makes people think, that music that doesn't dumb us down, that music that doesn't talk bad to women. That's the type of music that a lot of artists that I've met are trying to bring back. That wholesome music that talks about love and treating your wife right. That's the music that I think really deserves to be on the radio. But see, people, they don't want us to be that way. They don't want Black people to be family oriented. They're trying to bridge divides in our communities by putting this poison in our music.
I think it goes both ways, though. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is my stepson used to tell me, well, MC, you know, the kids back then, your music was just as dirty as ours. I said, no, our music, well, yeah, it was. It was raunchy. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Because we had people like Two Live Crew. But Two Live Crew was just saying things that you hear on the streets.
They were saying things that you thought about. Like, I don't mind music talking about what you think about. I think all I was going to say a second ago was, I think even with music, it goes both ways. Even, you know, when you talk about music that uplifts women, we have to also have music that uplifts our men. We have to show that, you know, and that's, I think, what my group Black Love is about, is showcasing the brighter side of love, showcasing, you know, that we actually love hard and we love well. It's not always about drama. It's not always about just sex. We have a lot of layers, and it's a lot deeper than what the reality TV shows and what a lot of these publications want to kind of put the narrative they want to spin when it comes to love amongst the African American community and the brown community, like whatever minority community you come from. I think you don't really have the proper representation of what it really is, and the narrative is being spun by someone who cannot relate. So I think it's up to us, the artists, to send the right message and to, you know, like show the world that we're a lot deeper and the layers are there, and we, you know, culturally it gets deep, and we love hard and we love real, and it's a painful love. It's a love that's rooted in struggle. It's a love that's rooted in you know, fighting and coming together, not fighting as in each other, but fighting to get equal rights and fighting to come up together and grow and evolve as a people. So when you have to struggle through certain things as a people, can you imagine the kind of love that is grows from that sprouts from that type of journey, that pain? So it's not talked about enough. And I think the 90s, the 70s, and the 90s R&B and soul music really tapped into the pain and the struggle and allowing people to see just how beautiful it really is. And then we got away from it. And love songs aren't love songs anymore. They're, you know, like you said, they talk about things that are superficial and surface level. And it's up to, I mean, artists, I don't think some of us really realize the role and how important our role really is in the world, and that we are the messengers and you have a responsibility.
Yeah, I know my grandkids, they pick up a song very easily.
Mm-hmm. They're sponges.
So I really try to pick the right music for them to listen to, because if they're listening to music that has no substance, then I'm like, there's no reason you should be listening to this. Or you explain to these kids, this is entertainment. This is really not real.
This is not real, right?
It's like watching a movie, but listening to them sing. It's the same scenario, just audio. And I just think as parents, we have to be to our kids, like, do not take after these rappers that say they sell drugs, because they're not selling drugs. Matter of fact, they're not even taking them.
Right.
They just put that in their music because you know what they say? Well, this is what the fans want to hear.
Right.
So we're just giving them what they want. when do the fans know what they really want?
Right.
I mean, certain fans do. Like, if you got fans that are a fan of your music because that's the kind of music you make, then they're listening to you for that because they feel good, because they say they hear that you do it. So they're doing it and they feel good that my artist is doing it with me. No, he's not. So put the drugs down.
Yep. I agree.
When you're not making music at the moment and you're just doing regular Miss Kriss time and you just chilling, what do you do?
When I'm not doing music, which is not often these days, I often try to tap into other things that make me happy and that serve me, that fulfill me. So I paint. And I mean,
you paint and you got that picture behind you. That's your work.
Yes.
Hey, folks, the podcast land, you're not going to be able to see it, but she's got a painting that she did on her own, and it's really nice. It looked like it's from like an African tribe. And then if I say something funny to that painting, it's going to put a spell on me. That's how I feel.
It was painted with love and good intentions. It will not put a spell on you.
It's really look nice. It's dope. You. I'm digging the vibes.
Thank you. Yeah, so I paint, and that's really the only other thing I can really do as a pastime. I am a business owner, so I run a couple of businesses, but music and painting are really like the things I tap into for the most part. Once I'm done working, it's music, it's my art, and of course motherhood. Like I said, my son is in college, so
it's funny to me because I can't picture you having a college-bound kid.
Yes,
you look young.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have. I'm telling you, you don't look no older than like 32.
Really?
Facts.
Yeah, I'm older than 32. I'm well beyond.
Folks in the podcast land, you cannot see what's going down here. But I'm telling you something, folks. You hear the voice of Miss Kriss? Well, you should see her looks. When you see the flyer, you'll see what's going down. She looks younger than what she says she is. I'm thinking that she is young, but wants to make me feel like she old. That's what I think it is.
No. You know what? I have, and I'm not saying this is the entire reason. I think, genes and stuff, they have a lot to do with it, at least half of what, of the reason. But I have not eaten meat in about 5 years.
That's what it is. I gotta stop eating that damn meat.
Now I am a pescatarian, so I do eat seafood. But I don't eat chicken, fish, turkey. Those
bottom feeder seafoods? Like, you eat shrimp?
No. I literally just let shrimp go. I
used to eat a lot of shrimp, and my gout just started flaring up big time.
And I think it's so weird. Like, I feel like lately seafood is starting to really taste really fishy lately. Of course, you have to clean it well, get your seafood from the right places. But I just feel like the ocean and we're not really taking good care of our planet. So I think as a result of that, things have really changed drastically, just even with our produce, with, our vegetation. So I'm just trying to be very careful with what I put in my body, not just to look good, but to have longevity. We only get one life. So I want to be here as long as I can. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, you know how the saying goes back in the day, they say you only live once, so you got to live it to the fullest.
Yep.
Yeah. But, this living once thing, I got 40 years in that span. So, no, I just want to live as comfortably and healthy as I possibly can for the next 40 years.
Yep.
The math don't add up, Miss Kriss. The math don't add up. I'm talking about you're a kid for about a good 21 years. And the rest of the time, you're an adult. And then you got to do adult things.
Yeah, it's
like, for example, you got to pay your bills. When you're a kid,
it's kind of unfair when you think about it. It's like,
don't sit down with you one day. Your parents don't sit down with you and explain the bill situation. They don't do it. My mother didn't do it. She didn't sit me down and says, "Hey, Andrew, let me just tell you what's going on with these bills right here." They don't do that. And so when
now I will say my parents did talk to me about bills. I think still though, I think there were still a lot of things that they left out. They did talk to me about bills. I think now, and I try to do this with my son, like I talk so much about credit and I talk so much about balancing and making sure that, he's saving and just, because everybody's not built for the same lifestyle. So you got people that are not built for corporate America, or they're not built to be a laborer. They're not built to have their own business. So prepare yourself so that you can do whatever it is you want to do. So I think parents back in the day, like our parents, they knew it, they understood it, but they were so busy working and just trying to make it that, by the time they started talking about it, it was kind of late. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just important for us, you with your kids, grandkids, me with my son, to just kind of spread the word and make sure that we're giving them the right information, because we've been through it already. So the best thing we can do now is just try to prevent them from going through it. That's all I'm trying to do at this point.
You're right about that. There's a song that I want to snippet, and the song is called Honeydew.
Honeydew.
So Miss Kriss, can you tell the folks about the song Honeydew?
The song Honeydew, it kind of speaks for itself, but Honeydew to me was, when I was writing it, it was like, I wrote it from the mindset of a woman that was okay with letting a man know that she knows what he wants. So it's like, without being so overt, it's like, don't say you don't know what you want, because I know exactly what you came here for. So I wanted to wordplay. So if you listen to the pre-hook, it's while you stir me up, while I'm inside your cup, let my melanin steep. Give me everything inside of you. It tastes so sweet. So it's just basically talking about foreplay. You stir me up while I'm inside your cup. And inside your cup could really mean anything. And you let my melanin steep. So I'm a melanated queen. Let my melanin steep. That's wordplay on like when you steep tea. And, give me everything inside of you. It tastes so sweet, which is a play on honeydew, because honeydew. And then you can look at the honeydew in a couple ways. You can look at it like honeydew melon, which we know is a very sweet melon. You can look at it like honeydew, which is the way I spelled it in English, honey, and then D-O, which is sweet like honeydew, sweet like honey. Basically, that's my Ebonics way of saying how honey makes something sweet. So I'm playing on the words in a couple different ways. So honeydew is basically just speaking to a woman like, look, I know what you want. I'm here to give you what you want. So let's not waste time.
But I'm digging the vibes on this song, Honeydew. And I love how you spell it two different ways. You spell the French honeydew, and you spell it in English, honeydew.
Yeah. Yep.
But that French honeydew, and just the way you pronounce it, honeydew. That's so dope. Hey, folks.
Thank you.
Folks, I'm telling you something. Miss Kriss has a lot of beautiful music on Spotify, Apple Music, or any streaming platform you want to check her out on. She's got beautiful music. And her EP that she mentioned earlier in the show is really dope, man. I'm digging the vibes. But Honeydew is my favorite song so far, other than, there's other songs on it that are my favorite. But this one here, this is my jam. And so I'm going to play a snippet, folks, but you don't have to listen to a snippet. All you guys got to do is go tap in. And as I said, she's on all platforms. So why don't you go and type in Miss Kriss? And hey, you don't know how to spell it, I'll spell it for you. It's MS.space KRISS. And she'll pop right up. I'm telling you, she will. So without further ado, folks, I'm going to play a snippet of Honeydew.
One taste, my love, once you taste it.
Yeah.
One side, pour it up, don't you let it spin.
It's Miss Kriss, y'all. St. Louis's finest.
Give me everything inside of you.
Oh, yeah.
It's so sweet, sweet like
yeah. That's my favorite part of the song right there. If you want to hear the rest of this song, you know where you gotta go. You know what you gotta do. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Woo boy. Man, that is my favorite song
I'm glad you enjoy.
of all time.
Thank you.
Well, it's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Thank you.
Close to Michael Jackson, She's Out of My Life. The Lady in My Life.
Out of my life.
Baby Be Mine.
Out of my life.
Whitney
Yes.
Houston's the You Give Good Love.
You give good love to me, baby. So good. Take this heart of mine into your hands. You give good love.
Stop it.
to me.
You're gonna make me cry. And I don't want to cry. Not right now. Not on this screen. Not in front of the fans. This is not good.
Whitney is the GOAT, man. She's the GOAT.
Yes, she is. And I'll tell you,
GOAT,
Whitney Houston got me through a lot of hard times, man. A lot of hard times. Can you
It's
tell
so
us?
crazy because listening to her music as an adult, it hits completely different than it did as a kid. Like when you listen to even just one of her not as popular songs, like My Name Is Not Susan, like when you listen to those songs as a grown ass woman, it's like, oh, I get it. I understand. I was a little girl when I heard of most of those her hits. So it was like, it gives you a whole different perspective and just outlook. It's like she's just the GOAT in every way. Every way.
Yeah, I started listening to Belle Biv DeVoe Poison as an adult. Because I was a teenager when it came out.
It hits different.
Yeah, it hits a little way different. Matter of fact,
It hits way different.
their whole album hits different.
Yeah.
And then when you listen to Hootie Mac, the second album, yeah, folks, Belle Biv DeVoe, yeah, meanings behind all those songs.
Man,
Yes.
as an adult, you catch on to everything that went. Look, it went right over your head when you was a kid, but now it's like, oh, that's you.
I say to myself, man, this is deeper than I thought it was.
Yes.
I'm telling you, how long you've been in? So you've been in the industry now for quite a while now. So you've been in the industry, like touring and traveling and stuff, and going to the studio and recording. You're not no one-hit wonder here. You've been doing it for a minute.
Well, yeah, and I was gonna say, like, of course, there were breaks, times where I wasn't doing music at all. I've described it like this in other interviews where I just say, like, hey, music is like that ex that won't go away. Sometimes that's your first love and only love, and it won't go away. So for me, music, I had moments where I just was like, I'm done. It's just not working out. And then all it takes is for you to hear one melody or for you to, it's right back like you never left. So I started, back, I want to say professionally back in 2008. There was a competition here in St. Louis called the McDonald's Soul Search. I ended up winning the competition and getting a deal with Sony Music, Sony Columbia, and I won studio time to record my first album, which actually was only intended to get a couple of songs, but I ended up being able to record about 8 songs out of the studio time. So I ended up having did a commercial for McDonald's, and I ended up also being able to release my first single, That Fire, with the the rapper Murphy Lee from the group The Saint Lunatics. Affiliated with
I remember that dude.
Yeah, with Nelly. He's like Nelly's brother, basically. They came up together in the industry. And, of course, he was there when Nelly really took off. And then the St. Lunatics did their thing too. So that was my first record. And like you said, I got to travel and perform, open up for several big acts and just really get, my feel of the industry. And of course, with getting your feel of the industry, a lot of the industry stuff happens to you. And, I just wasn't that cookie cutter artist. I wasn't considered it was a lot of things that labels were wanting to change about me, and to make me fit a certain thing. And I just, I don't know if at the time being that age, I don't think I had a thick enough skin to really understand what was going on. And then lo and behold, the production company that I was signed to, we parted ways. And I just kind of, took a hiatus for a few years. And then I ended up coming together with a group of guys, and we formed a group called Black Love. So that group, the name is spelled BLACLUVE. And I mean, with the group, it's like organically we just took off. The UK just really took a tremendous liking to us, and our music it's just amazing how that has gone with the group. And I'm still actually a member of that group, but we all during the pandemic decided to like work on some solo endeavors, hence the birth of Black Buttafly. So during the pandemic, we were actually about to start going over to the UK. We had just performed, then the world shut down. And I just decided like, well, while we have this time apart, why don't I go ahead and work on my album? At the time I was going to do a full like album, like 9 songs. But then I decided, I still recorded like 11 songs, but I said, I'm going to just do 5 for this first volume of Black Buttafly and just see how people receive it. Because I hadn't done anything solo in a long time. This is my first official release, project release. So it was like, let me just put some songs out there, see what people think. We'll do 5 songs. Me and my executive producer, Rashad Whittier. And then the guys of Black Love, most of them are producers. So they all produce records on the album. Honeydew produced by a guy named Kellen Goodwin, better known as Teddy Vandross. And then, we just came up with some concepts, put the music together, and the rest is history. And I mean, when we released the project on the 14th, and when I say the reception and the response has been I just can't even explain it. It's just out of this world. And finding out that my EP and the single Love and Devotion is starting to climb the global soul charts and the independent soul charts over there in the UK. I'm getting some good rotation here in the US, a lot of good reception here. It's just amazing. Like I couldn't really ask for more for my first like official release. And I'm just excited to see what's next. I've had a lot of people reach out like, when are you doing a live show? When are you going to be in my city? So now we're putting the band together, getting the show together. I got a couple videos that we're about to put out. So I'm just excited. And, regardless of the bumps in the road along the way and along the years, I want to say it's been about maybe 16 years I've been doing this. It's all worth it. The growth and just my evolution to this point. I think I really know who I am. And you put out your best work when you really know who you are. And like you say, when you tap in, you tap into who you are. You are, as long as you're comfortable with yourself and you're not worried about the judgment, and let people just receive you. And it works out when you just stick true to who you are. And I'm learning that. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. And I'm so glad that you stand true to who you are. Because I'm still hearing Honeydew in my brain right now. I keep hearing the song over and over again in my head. So I have to like play the song so I stop thinking about it. But
let's go.
That's how you really have attacked my brain with your music. You've attacked my brain. I haven't had an artist do that to me in quite some time.
Well, I'm honored. I'm honored to know that. I appreciate that.
I'm a fan of yours, Miss Kriss. I'll be a fan of yours for the rest of my days. I really am.
And
I'm going to tell everybody about you.
Not disappoint.
I'm going to tell everybody how dope you are. I'm telling you.
Thank you.
Folks, as I said, don't take my word for it. I know you're listening to the podcast. I know you're probably watching on YouTube. And you're like, MC Andrew Love, you're speaking all this good stuff. But don't take my word for it. Go on over there and tap into these platforms and listen to Miss Kriss yourself and give her your ears. Because I'm telling you something, folks. When you do, and you do listen to me, you're going to say, damn, MC Andrew Love, you did it again. You done told me to go tap into Miss Kriss. So we did. And guess what? She's dope. You're damn right she's dope. So make sure you keep tapping in. Do you have any advice that you want to give to the youngins that are coming up that want to do what you're doing?
You know what? The only thing I have to say is never stop. Don't stop. I feel like the most important thing is knowing what you're doing it for. Why are you here? Why is this so important? And this doesn't just apply to someone that wants to do music. Whatever your art is, whatever your talent is, whatever it is you want, know the why, understand the why, because that's going to be very important to your success. It's going to be very important to those days that I talked about where I just wanted to give up and I wanted to be done. A lot of time can get wasted because you're too hard on yourself. Of course, be your worst critic because that's going to keep you on your toes. But just always know and understand why you're doing it and make sure that the passion outweighs anything else. Because it shouldn't be about money. It shouldn't be about status. It shouldn't be about looking a certain way. It shouldn't be about trying to fit in. Be yourself. And for those young people coming up now, it's especially important because people want real. They don't want you to put on and fake, even though it seems that's what the world wants with the internet. People really respect and really gravitate to real. And you're in a time now where real is okay. Because back in the day, you had to really adjust and put the hair on, put the makeup on, but get your body a certain way. Now, people of all shapes, sizes, colors, demographics are able to express themselves and reach the masses without the machine. And the fact that this is what the world we're living in, it's an amazing time to be an artist. So just enjoy it, enjoy the ride, be yourself, and understand your why. That's what I would tell any young person now.
I'm digging the vibes. Thank you for that beautiful advice. Everybody, absolutely. Kids, Miss Kriss is dope. Since you've been here for the first time, you've now become part of the Let's Chat and Jam fam, which means you don't have to wait for me to tap into you and say, hey, Miss Kriss, you want to come back? Nah, you could, like you did before, tap into my DMs. But this time say, hey, Drew, I got a new album I'm about to put out. I got a new book that I wrote. Or I just been casted into my feature film. Whatever it is you're doing, Miss Kriss, it's important to me and I want to know about it.
Thank
so when
you.
you do tap into me, and I'm going to get my calendar and I'm going to say, deal, you in the show, let's go.
Let's go.
That's how easy it is to be on my show when you in the fam. So Miss Kriss from St. Louis, Missouri, welcome to the fam.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy, so honored. Again, I keep saying that, but I'm not just saying that to patronize. I'm truly honored and I truly respect your what you do. And I know you have a good ear. I know, I respect what you're doing in this music community. We need more people like you, more outlets, platforms that are doing this, giving us independent artists a place to call home and bring our music. Thank you for that. I honor you for that.
Well, speaking of, I am the Vice President of Petrucci Entertainment, USA Division, a liaison to Radio Indie International Network, USA. Okay. And so I would love to add your music to our rotation. So all you got to do is email me your music, MP3 format, along with a cover arts and a bio, so we can put that all up in there.
Let's go.
Yes. But I'm digging the vibes, and I'm so glad that you came here to talk to us, man. I'm so honored that you came here to hang out with MC Andrew Love on Let's Chat and Jam podcast. It's been really cool having you here. Do you have any short-term goals or long-term goals you set for yourself? And what would you like to complete?
You know what? I'm going to say this because I used to say, well, I don't want to really set expectations. I don't want to say like, oh, this is what I want to do this by this day at this time. But I just want to be able to share my music I've always wanted to share my music with the world, but not just share it with them. I want people to resonate with the music. I want to get those messages and people reach out to me and say, look, your music, this song, it helped me through this struggle. this song changed this for me. This song helped me know that I could do what you're doing. Like, that's what to me, that's legacy. It's not just about being able to make money from it. That's great. And of course I want to, but it's about knowing that your music touched someone in a way that changed them for the better, that made them have an outlook on life better than what it was the day before. I'm going to say this really quick. In the famous words of Ronell Burns, I'm getting what I came for. So God put this in me. I'm getting what I came for. I'm not going to stop until I get it. R.I.P. Ronell. Listen, it's certain situations in life that teach you that you only get one life. So when you realize you only have this one time, seize the opportunity. So whatever comes, I'm open to it, but I'm getting what I came for, and that's to be known for my music all across the world if possible.
I got a recommendation for you. Start yourself a podcast and play your music as the background stuff, because you're dope. And I tell you, you do that, your music will always be heard, and you'll be able to tell people good things that you just told us right now. Because people need to hear your message. People need to hear what you're saying, but people on a massive scale. So if you start yourself a podcast, you can possibly have millions and millions of people listening to what you say every day or every week.
Absolutely. I've been told that before. I may tap into that. I may have to take you up on that for sure.
I'm telling you something. You would be dope at a podcast because I like how you're speaking to me right now.
Thank you.
You have a good conversation. You do. And you know what to say, and you know how to say it. And you say what you mean, and you mean what you say.
Mean what you say.
The vibes. But anyway, thank you so much for coming through to the show. I do appreciate your time. It's been a wonderful experience having you here. You're an amazing artist. You're really good. And folks, you got to tap in to Miss Kriss because she is dope. So I want you to stay safe out there in St. Louis, Missouri.
Absolutely.
Whatever you do, stay safe.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. And everybody else, y'all stay safe. And just remember this. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, if you have a passion, then go for it. Because only you can stop you. And nothing beats a failure but a try. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Thanks for watching. And if you like what you saw, please subscribe to the channel. Also, like and share the content, as well as hit the notification icon so you don't miss a Conversation with series right here on Let's Chat and Jam.